Elisabeth?
Yes, sir?
When you first heard about Leigh's new take on the material, what was your first thought and what made you want to get involved?
Well, first of all, I'd done this film, Us, with Blumhouse and Universal the year before. So the first thing I heard was that they were going to do this and they wanted me to read it and wanted me to do it. And I was just excited to kind of work with the same producers again because I had a really great experience on that. And then I read it and I was immediately hooked in like the first 10 pages, which is the opening of the movie. And I felt like, oh, this is super, super different than anything I could have expected this movie to be.
I mean, when you were cast, I think a lot of people assumed you were going to be the invisible person.
I got a lot of questions like that. Like, they were like, everyone was like, are you the invisible man? I was like, why would I be the invisible man? Yeah. First of all, I'm not a man. Second of all, then I wouldn't be in the movie.
It would have been a bad signing for you.
Yeah, it would have been very bad.
But, I mean, I guess that means the story's really recentered, isn't it? And that works really well.
Very much so. It's told from the perspective of the victim of the Invisible Man, which was Leigh Whannell, our writer-director's idea, and really kind of revolutionary.
It's quite a harrowing film at times, I think. Like, it's quite a difficult watch in a good way, like quite challenging. And obviously it plays with real issues of domestic abuse and gaslighting and things like that. I mean, did you do any research before playing the part to make sure that you kind of really nailed it?
I mean, look, I think that the honest truth is that as a woman in this world, there's no way that you've never experienced some form of, I would never say as far as what Cecilia's experienced with Adrian, but even if it's just someone that you know, there is a major epidemic of abuse and violence and bullying and gaslighting, and I think that a lot of people have experienced it that aren't even necessarily willing to talk about it. So I think that a lot of my research has just been through my life, just talking to people, and I've played characters before that have been in similar situations. So I've done that. I've done research there, but for me, this was very instinctive.
And you allude there to other characters in similar situations. Obviously, The Handmaid's Tale isn't anything like this, but I feel like it does something similar in kind of recentering real-life issues in this kind of genre-y format. Mm-hmm. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what's cool about, or what is helpful about a genre film, whether it's like a sci-fi film like Gravity, where you have, this incredible movie visuals, all director, et cetera, but truly it's about the loss of a child, or whether you have films like The Shining, which is like 9 million metaphors for what that's about. They're probably all wrong, but there's a way that you can do something with genre film where you can cloak, or even like a speculative fiction like Handmaid's Tale, where you can cloak the idea, the bigger idea, within something scary or entertaining, or with all the bells and whistles.
Speaking of A Handmaid's Tale, there's another series of that coming out.
Yeah.
The Testaments has come out since. I mean, will some of that be woven in? Is that the plan?
No, because it's a bit in the future, the Testament. So no, we're leaving that to itself.
And you probably wouldn't reach it, I suppose.
No.
You've got to act in other things at some point as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'd be doing it for the next 15 years.
Yeah. So I know that you guys don't want to talk too much about the filming process so as not to sort of give away how it was done.
I didn't get that memo, if that's true. I've been telling everybody about everything.
Okay, well, because I talked
to the right room.
I talked to Oliver, and he said that you and he had discussions about when you would prefer him to be there and when you'd prefer not to have to react to anyone. I mean, what was that like, and how did you kind of do that?
The serious answer, which I'll give you first, is that yes, I was definitely. Leigh and I kind of were trying to be specific about when it could be the stunt double, when it could be Ollie, when it should be nothing, and we tried to really make sure that there was specificity there. And there were times when if the Invisible Man had to speak in the scene, then I would prefer to have Ollie there, and then there were times when obviously there was nobody there at all, and it was just a blank space. The non-serious answer is then I just started to ask Ollie to come to set to entertain me and to amuse me.
And to get him in the green suit get
Just because I thought it was funny to look at.
Yeah, definitely.
There's nothing like a tall man in a tight green suit.
I mean, it's funny because I feel like in a lot of modern acting, people are acting to nothing and then they'll add in something later. In this case, sometimes you're acting to nothing and then they don't add in anything later.
Yeah, exactly. Or sometimes you're acting to somebody that you'd rather not be acting at all with you. So this was, in a way, a different kind of challenge than that.
I mean, what was the biggest challenge, do you think? What scene was the most difficult to nail?
All the running. There's so much running. Too much running. I'm not a very active person, and I don't really prefer to run around. And so there was just a lot of running. And Leigh, I would do this. I would do it, and I would run so fast, and I'd be like, afterwards, and I'd be like, is that good? You want to? It's good, right? And he'd be like, oh, yeah, mate, great, just do one more. And I was like, okay, just give me like 5 minutes, and I'll do another one. And it was just, I'm not used to that.